Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind, these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Monday, January 17th. We're going to take a look at Microvast today. I had a request to take a look at this chart and thought I'd do so in advance of the trading week ahead, since it's a short one especially. Now, what I wanted to do is start on the weekly time frame, put in some of the most important weekly trend lines and support and resistance levels, and then zoom into the daily, do the same. That should give us a pretty solid picture of what we're looking at, and those will certainly bleed into what you'll see on your intraday chart, if you're looking at like a 1 minute or 5 or 10 minute or 1 hour chart, whatever. So on the weekly here, this is pretty obvious to me, right? This level, which had flipped from resistance to support before this big liftoff toward the end of 2020, when it ran here from about $10, about 2.5 times up to $25, and then has just been on a drawdown ever since. Now you can see it did try to catch itself right above this level at that like initial drawdown, and had a nice bounce actually back up into the 15s, but has chopped around there and then pushed off pretty hard recently. So to me, that one sticks out, and then this one here as well, because you see this support level here that tried to catch here as well, and then flipped to resistance and has more recently helped lead to this pretty crazy drawdown that's Microvast has been dealing with. Now, the other thing that kind of stands out to me, I think it depends probably, how aggressively you want to put this in, how conservatively you want to put it in. I would tend to put it in more conservatively, meaning the stock needs to do more in order to prove that it can kind of make a change in trend. And so if I put this here, this would lay this sort of right on top of these candles and would give it a, say, faster opportunity, a quicker opportunity to overcome that resistance level. If I place it up here, that means, like I said, it has to start turning that ship around quite a bit more before it would breach this downtrend resistance and provide it an opportunity to actually kind of prove that it could be breaking a trend. At that, I think it's fine that we zoom in. I'll go to the 1 year. That'll give us a picture of the daily chart. And so you see here, it's trapped under this downtrend resistance that we were just talking about. And there are some now closer in levels that we can take a look at that have kind of been important more recently. You see this flip from support. It's trying for several days to hold this, flipped it to resistance, and now it's basing right underneath this $5 level, which, unfortunately, that being the case, that $5 level didn't altogether hold, though it's trying to. So it might still be kind of wrestling with it, would be kind of the question that I'd have, not really a statement, to be honest, but more of like a question of, is this sort of wrestling with this at this point, or what's it doing? But those psychological levels, you want to see them hold if they're gonna kind of prove to be any use, kind of turning the ship around. But trend reversals are hard, they're challenging, and it can take a lot. And that's why, to my mind, I would set this downtrend resistance up a little higher, like we talked about on the weekly chart, because I think it would really need to prove itself, to my mind. So this is what I look for on the daily. Now I know I don't have a support level below, but to me this lowest candle, the lowest most recent candle, would be the support level, and I don't want to put it in because it recently made that low on the last trading day. And so if it just immediately kind of makes another low, then that's gonna make the chart kind of challenging to and just more cluttered. So to me, because it's at its lowest point, I would just keep trying to follow that down and see if it can shake anything loose from there, and flip this 550, we'll call it, again, the psychological nearest level, 550, and start to base over that level and show that it's treating that as new support. That's what I would look for from the daily. We can zoom in here to the 1 hours. Well, actually, let's zoom out to the 1 month That'll give us the 1 hour time frame. And so we see here, I'm just trying to see if there's anything. So there's this downtrend resistance that's maybe more prescient, let's say. Let's see if we can bring it in. Yeah, so this on the 1 hour has been acting as a pretty strong downtrend resistance level. And this might even extend up a little bit further, but we'll put it there for the time being. And you see it's tried to nudge itself out a couple of times, but it hasn't made any real strong progress outside of this range. And so to me, any breach of that could be a sign that, you know, maybe it's going to try to flip this 550 and then it's very quickly going to come in contact with this downtrend resistance and see if it can make any movement from that level or not. But otherwise, you know, it's pretty challenging in terms of just being able to identify any true signs or symbols of reversal here. It's going to need to show some really solid strength, which it did toward the end of the day here on the last trading day, but you know how that can go. Now a decent sort of level from the last 5 days, you see this was resistance here on this day, tried to grab support here, held support on this day and on this day. So I would throw this level in as well if you're looking for maybe a shorter term trade or just some shorter term signals that it might be kind of interacting with levels that could lead it in a certain direction. Meaning if it's 510 support, maybe then it's opening the door for an attempt at 550. If it's flipping 510 back to resistance, then, you know, if you have a bearish stance on it, bearish play, then you might still be in play. Or if you have a long play or a bullish play, then, you know, you might want to kind of wait until it can at least prove out this 510 to 551 range and start basing over that level. But, you know, that's my take on MVST at the moment. Those are levels that I would consider to be important at the moment, and trend lines that I would sort of consider in play if I were trading it, which I don't currently have any position, just to be clear. This is too much of a crazy downturn with not a lot of shows of strength recently for me, but you never know when something can turn around, of course. But I'm not a great dip buyer, so I would rather look for that strength and see that it's truly accumulating some strength, especially if it's relative to a market that maybe is choppy or in the downturn itself. That would be, you know, the ideal bullish scenario to me, so that might not be the case. But good luck if you're in this one. It's a tough one, but hopefully you can make some good informed decisions along the way and do your best with it. All right, folks, I hope that you have a great trading week ahead, and I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.